Hello everybody and welcome to James Plays Gregory Horror Show Soul Collector. As I talked about in the intro, this is a game based on a Japanese cartoon. Looks very similar to the game, almost exactly even. And this is not my first attempt at this game. I tried it many years ago, and it ultimately did not work out. But now, fingers crossed, it will work out. So let's go ahead and get into a new game and see what's gonna happen.
I found myself walking through a deep forest in a thick fog. How did I get here? I should have been home by now. Suddenly, I saw a bright light before me. It was the hotel.
Typically, this is how the stories from Gregory Horror Show start out.
Do you need a room for the night?
There he is!
My. You certainly do look exhausted, don't you? Well then, I'll get a room ready for you.
Now, I don't remember a lot about my old playthrough. We're kind of going back into things, not knowing what to do. But there is one very important thing that I do remember. And that is the name of our character. Named after the best Ghostbuster. Not the talking gorilla from Overwatch. Winston, everybody. It's a very good name for naming all of your characters in every video game. And you have to choose between male or female. It doesn't have any impact on the game itself, just the way your character looks. I'm going to go with a male, because they didn't touch upon this too much in the Ghostbusters lore, but I do believe that Winston probably was male. But Winston was also black, and as you'll see, that's not going to be the case here. Anyway.
Right this way, if you don't mind. I'll be happy to show you to your room. I must say, we don't often receive guests at this hour. Perhaps you've somehow managed to lose your way. Or maybe you've just lost your mind. That was a joke. Have a pleasant sleep, my friend. You'll be needing it, believe me.
Now, the English voice acting for Gregory is done by Dave Pettit, and I think he does an incredible job really making that character.
And so I fell into a deep sleep and began to dream.
Speaking of great characters,
Come on now, throw away all them worries. Forget about them. Huh? I can tell you ain't from around these parts. What's the deal, bud? Are you lost or something? Don't be embarrassed. You can tell me. What? You can't get back? Okay, how's about I make you a little deal? See, my job is removing lost souls from the living world. And that hotel is full of lost souls what needs to be removed right away. Hoo-ah! If you go in and find them, I'll show you the way back. I even got somebody you can use. It's a little small, but hey, what you gonna do, right? When you find them all, come see me again in your dreams. You got that? See you later, pal.
Absolutely incredible there. And that is probably the biggest difference in character performances between the game and the DVDs that were released in North America. Death is absolutely nothing like this in either the original Japanese cartoon or the English dub of the cartoon. Much more dry, a little sinister. So I don't know whose idea it was to make him, like, hey, I'm collecting souls over here, and, doing that. But it's fantastic. It's beautiful. It's a shame that they didn't use that performance for the English dub of the DVDs. I believe it is 2 different voice actors as well. Anyway, he gave us a body. I don't know what happened to our original body, but... And, yeah, there was a scream. We kind of just ignored that as I talked about stuff. We'll go out and see what we can figure out.
I'm so hungry.
We get a little introduction here to some of the controls. We can peek and we can knock. Like so. Got a word bubble coming out of this steel door that's locked up. That's right next to our room. That's great. There's a... Pretty much the way that the hotel's going to be laid out is hallways with doors. A lot of them are rooms for other guests. We'll be seeing some of them soon enough.
James, is that you? Please don't tease me anymore.
The game knows who I am. That would be absolutely terrifying if I didn't already know that there is a character called James in this game. Like, just imagine that. It's like Psycho Mantis in Metal Gear Solid. It's like, how does he know I play Castlevania? How does the game know my name? That would be a real, like, pants pooper.
You're the one who moved in next door yesterday, aren't you?
Yep, that's me.
I need to talk to you. Yes. So go get the key that's on the counter in the lobby and bring it here.
Will do. That floating thing.
Get to the lobby. Just go straight and turn left at the end of the hall.
Now that floating thing that we can see. That is a soul. We will be collecting those. Just keep that in mind. We've been given our first task is to go to the lobby and get the key for the cell, which is a very good idea, I'm sure. Talk to Gregory here.
The key to the room next door?
You can see a little glint back there on the key holders there. That's what we're going to be getting, but we can't get it just yet. We got to talk to Gregory first.
The cat that inhabits that room is the last remnant of a family that once caused us a great deal of trouble. A most dangerous cat indeed. He was once a beautiful creature with fine silky fur. Then, one stormy night long ago, someone sewed everything shut. Eyes, mouth, ears.
You're looking at who that someone was right there. Gregory did it. Presumably, there's something to do with the whole, like, cat and mouse rivalry thing, why he doesn't like the cat. And it's never explained what happened to the cat's owners. But, yeah.
Oh, what a horrible thing!
The horrible thing that you did, Gregory.
Since then, he's been a nasty beast that attacks anyone who draws near. As the manager of this hotel, I simply cannot allow you to have that key.
That key that you are going to be walking away from?
Well then, I guess it's about time I made the rounds of the hotel.
So now we learn about routines. We have a clock, time is constantly going, and characters will do different things at different times of the day. Think of it like Majora's Mask, where they've got schedules, and it really helps to be aware of those schedules. So he's going to walk away and leave us alone to...
I must ask you to refrain from stepping behind the counter.
Never mind, I lied. I'm a liar. I just gotta wait another moment or two. Now, okay. Now we should be good. Yoink. No pun intended, we did get our first key item. Now we can go run back past Gregory here. I said past Gregory here, there we go.
Hello? If I may ask, what are you doing?
As you see, you still need to wait. You can't let him see you. Now, again, we should be good.
I'm so hungry. Is it dinner yet? We meet at last. My name is Neko Zombie. Do you think I'm scary?
Nope. I actually think you're pretty gosh darn cute. I would like to pet you.
I don't need your sympathy.
As ready as I'm gonna be.
The guests in this hotel are planning to keep you trapped here for all eternity. Yes. So they're not going to give up their souls that easily. So, you have to know their weak points if you want to get those souls back. First, you've got to scope out their weak points without them noticing. Now we'll practice peeking. Go out into the hall and look through the keyhole.
So we're being given a tutorial on peeking, spying on people to learn about them. Neko Zombie is one of the few friendly characters in the series, usually trying to help the new guest to escape. And this is another performance that is different from the cartoon. Not as significant as death, but there are some differences. The character's voice in the game is a little bit softer, for lack of a better word, almost seductive. Like, it draws you in. Like, it just has that, like, almost like that breathy sound, like, do you want to know how to get out of here? Ooh, spooky or something. I don't know. But yeah, just another thing to point out. We'll do our peeking.
Did you see me? Now, I'll tell you about my weak point. Yes. My weak point is food. You'll have to figure out on your own what my favorite food is.
So now he's going to wander around a little bit, talk to himself. Well, he knows we're there, so he's talking to us. But you know what I mean. So those noises mean that we're getting information, and then that noise at the end means we completed getting the information. So, something sweet for dessert that's not cold. You want some of daddy, don't you? No, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Bananas can be dessert. Ice cream is cold. Lemon meringue pie. Dessert. Chocolate. Chocolate's an anytime snack. That can't be right. A mobile phone. Very clearly the answer. And crisps. So yeah, this game only came out, or was only localized for Europe, so there's a lot of European British words here. Crisps is potato chips. Said like a normal human being. The answer is chocolate. By the way, it's definitely
Dessert
chocolate.
that's sweet and not too cold. Chocolate. That's it. Here, I'll give you this.
So Neko Zombie gives us the Lost Soul as a reward for completing his little tutorial there.
I picked this up somewhere along.
This is not going to be the end of the tutorial. Our next goal is going to be an extension of things as well. But our first soul, everybody.
There are 12 souls in all you must find. Each of the guests in this hotel is carrying one.
We can ask all about these things, I guess. Now, most of the game does have, like, recorded audio dialogue, but there are some things that won't. Getting a very important warning there that, you know, not all the guests are going to be as kind to us as Neko Zombie. And certainly being vague about some of the other things.
So, how are you planning to deliver those souls back to death? I see. You're going to meet him in your dreams?
Just like real life, yep.
In that case, you should sleep on the bed in your room if you want to hand the souls over to death.
Automatically return to our room, and before we go to bed, let's just take a quick peek at some stuff in our room. We have a bookshelf that we can use as storage for items that we're going to find, and books, books will have another purpose. It's like you could hang something here. We see an empty vase. I don't necessarily think you hang flowers in a vase. Maybe we're actually looking at the wall. And over here is where we can read the books that we find. And that will be important a little bit later on. And that's pretty much it for our room. Not a whole lot else going on. Let's go ahead and sleep.
Come on now. Give it up. Throw away all them worries. Oh, it's you. Did you manage to pick up any souls? You brought me a lost soul already? Well, that sure was quick. Okay then, hand it over like we agreed. Hey, thanks a lot. Here, I'll stamp your card for you. Just keep finding them and bringing them back to me. Whenever you get one, go to sleep and I'll catch up with you in your dreams. Good luck there, buddy!
There we go. First soul delivered to death. Somebody snuck a letter under our heads while we were sleeping. Neko Zombie got out of their room. I guess we left it unlocked, so makes sense. We have to go talk to Neko Zombie again.
Did you sleep well? I've got to talk to you about you-know-what.
My rash? I'll get some cream for it. Don't worry.
Do you know Catherine?
I do, actually. She's from the show. But now we're getting an introduction to her in the game.
Time for a blood test. Oh, this is so good. Catherine loves to draw blood from people she doesn't like. She lives 2 doors down from me in room 104.
Okay.
Shh, somebody's listening.
That's important information to have.
I heard that. So that child is collecting souls. I think it's time for a blood sample.
I guess it won't be that easy to collect the souls after all. I'll give you some hints about how to go about getting people's souls.
We get a little bit more information on, sneaking and figuring out solutions. Eventually, we will be able to keep a log of routines and schedules. There's a couple other things that will cause sounds, such as knocking. So you can be deliberate if you want to attract attention, or, distract. And then when it comes to peeking through keyholes and whatnot, that can also cause a sound. I'll show that in a moment here. You can actually peek from inside out into the hall. Useful if you need to see if somebody's coming or going. You see, we move around, peek around nice and slow, we don't make a sound. But if we go fast, yeah, we got a creaky eyeball. So that will alert people as well. Have to be careful of that.
This is so awesome.
James, you nasty child! Stop throwing your garbage on the floor!
There's my namesake, everybody.
Someone stepped on it and had an accident. Where is that brat? James!
I'm right here, baby.
I'm the one who has to clean up all of your messes.
So we're introduced to James. He is kind of a nuisance, causes a lot of problems for Gregory, and will cause problems for us. There's Catherine, has startled us, and she's coming this way. Let's actually turn around and greet her.
Oh, that face makes me want to do terrible things to you.
That's usually my pickup line to the
I
ladies.
think I'll make your job harder by running away.
And that's usually what they say to me. So yeah, whenever she sees us while she has that soul, she's going to run away from us. Gregory's here. Let's talk to him again real quick.
Hello?
And we get a map of the main floor. We'll have to find the maps for the other floors eventually. We don't even have access to anywhere else except the main floor at the moment. And as that said there, pressing select, you can actually see everybody on the main floor, and you get some icons there to point out different areas of the hotel as well. So James and Catherine are over on the right side. We're over the left with Gregory and Neko Zombie. Our next place that we're headed is the kitchen. That's the icon in the center there with the boiling pot right behind the fork and knife, which signifies the dining hall. And I think that should be open for us now. It may seem like I know a lot about this game and what I'm doing, but part of that is because this is the tutorial. Part of that is because I've watched the show again fairly recently. And part of it is because I read the instruction booklet for the game again before starting this. And there's lots of useful information on how to play, what to do, this and that. Now you saw that little dialogue word bubble come up. That would give us a hint that somebody is outside the room, and if we go to our map, we can see there is Gregory. Could actually try peeking at Gregory and see if we can get some information.
What a day.
We got, not necessarily an explicit hint, but a pretty solid hint when we were introduced to James, throwing the banana peel on the floor, and Gregory talking about, that's not a good idea, somebody could trip and fall. And we have Catherine, who will run away from us. It's a big pot, everybody. Yep. We'll go to the kitchen, to the garbage bin. we get ourselves a banana peel, which we are going to be using. It's another key item. Key items you swap between and you use with the interact button, in this case X. So we could plop that down. You can also pick it back up. So yeah, I may have a decent understanding of what to be doing right now, what to expect right now, but things will definitely get a bit more complicated very, very soon. So it looks like Catherine is going to be going around the back and kind of coming down the direction where James is. Might as well go see James. Get our proper introduction to him.
What are you doing?
There we go. To be fair, this is not my body. It's a rental. So in the show, James causes lots of problems. He's basically the mouse version of Dennis the Menace to Gregory's Mr. Wilson. But in the game, what he tends to do is follow you around and kind of laugh and just be annoying. And it's very hard to be sneaky when somebody is following you around like this. And he will even prevent you from doing some things. So it's kind of like having a little ball and chain. Oh, there's Catherine. She actually came in this direction. So James will keep following us around. Eventually... Yeah, there we go. He got bored. And he will leave us. You can sometimes shake him, I think. But most of the time it's just going to be a matter of waiting should you actually, have him follow you. We can peek around corners. So we're peeking. There is Catherine. She's coming down the hall. She can't see in front of her. Which is great for us, because she slips on that banana peel. If we had spent more time, spying on her, we would have gotten more information, but take this opportunity while we can get it. Spying on people and getting that information, it can be kind of a slow thing, especially when you have, the whole schedule thing going on with the different times of day and different actions being taken. So I don't know if I'm going to be spending a whole lot of time doing that in video or not. We'll see.
But Catherine's on the warpath. If she gets you, it'll be needle time.
It's gone! It's gone! My soul, it's gone! That kid must have taken it. Now I'm really angry.
So she's going to be chasing us around from now on. Instead of running away from us, she's going to be running after us and trying to do very horrible things. You may wonder, what's that going to mean for us? Now we're going to be introduced to mental health.
What can you do about it? Simple. Just run away. Now, one last thing. Yes. Around here, the power of your beliefs is everything.
There we go. We got our mental health gauge.
If your mental gauge, the strength of your mind, drops to 0, you'll never be able to escape from this place. What's that? I saved the worst for last? Yes. Sorry about that.
A little more explanation. Our mental health gauge will constantly be going down. That's the nature of being in this place. There may be some other things that cause it to drop faster. It's pointing out here that horror shows will cause it to drop significantly. And there's some ways to replenish our mental health. It's a Capcom survival horror type game, so we have herbs for healing. We can sleep. I don't think we can sleep constantly. I think we do have to let some time pass before we can sleep. And refreshing your mind by reading. The books thing that I mentioned earlier. There's going to be a few other things that we can do.
Your mental gauge represents the strength of your mind. So whenever you're carrying a soul, it'll resonate with your mind and make it stronger for a while.
Carrying a soul will... I don't know if it actually has a positive gain to our mental health, but it does reduce the fatigue of wandering around.
That means you have to consider when you're going to hand a soul over to death.
And Neko Zombie put it better than I could.
Also, when you're starting to lose your wits, use an herb item to restore your mental power.
And again, since this is a British game, they say a herb as opposed to an herb.
Plus, by reading
in the
a
writing,
book,
at least.
yes, you can actually increase your mental gauge. Why am I telling you all this? I'm just worried about you, that's all. Alright, tomorrow you'll be going after Judgment Boy's soul, yes.
And it's time to be introduced to the best character pretty much ever in anything.
Do you know Judgment Boy?
Do you know my name? Judgment!
Judgment Boy came to the hotel to pass final judgment on troubled hearts. You did a good job today. Now, go back to your room and get some rest. Tomorrow's another big day.
So for the most part, that is going to complete the tutorial. We'll go to sleep, hand this over to Death. Things will open up a little bit more on that main floor. We'll have Judgment Boy around then to go check out, and we will have to worry about Catherine trying to kill us. Yay. One other thing that was not really made clear with the mental health gauge is there are essentially status ailments as well. When you stay up too long, that will cause more fatigue, make you tired. Tiredness leads to other ailments, and these things will cause your gauge to drop faster, I believe, and it will also cause other problems for you as well. We'll delve more into that when it becomes more relevant. But yep, we're going to go ahead and get our sleep on here.
Come on now. Give it up. Throw away all them worries. Oh, it's you. Did you manage to pick up any souls? So, you only brought me one, huh? Shall I take it? Hey, thanks a lot. Here, I'll stamp your card for you. everybody!
2 out of 12 souls already collected. This game's like practically half over.
Well then, I'd better start getting ready to receive the new guest.
There we go. We'll now have access to more places around the main floor here. And that will wait till next time. You see there's a little icon that's blinking over on the right side. We'll also be checking that out. Exploring some of the hotel, trying not to get killed by Catherine, and all that good stuff. And as you see, here's a book on our desk now. If I can get to it. You get the memo. And this will be what we can fill in for the different characters. Which there's 16. Right now we have nothing because we didn't actually have a memo to write stuff down in until now. So yeah, we'll see what I do with this, if I'm going to be that methodical and trying to fill stuff out. I don't think I'll go out of my way, but I do imagine there'll be some times where I'm going to want to do that in order to get information to help me find solutions for things. But if you guys really, really want to see that stuff, we'll see. That's gonna do it for this episode. We got a plan for next episode. I'll see you then. Love ya. Mwah. Bye-bye.